What's up, everybody? Hope y'all are doing good. So y'all, this is not a very happy video, but I actually was not going to say anything about it just because I didn't want to put myself really in the middle of, controversy if I can help it. But, I kind of followed my gut with this, and, I thought, I want to speak out and say something about it. And that has to do with the whole, Charlie Kirk assassination. Like, it bothers me so bad that there are people out there, because I've read comments myself that are celebrating it almost, and I actually have seen comments of people saying they are happy about what happened to him, and that right there to me is just the sickest thing I have seen in a very, very long time. I just don't know how anybody could be happy about that, because myself, I lean a lot more towards the liberal point of view on things. I have a few conservative little beliefs, and some things I fall on in the middle. And, I used to watch some of his videos. They would pop up on TikTok and on the YouTube shorts, and I would watch them, and some of them I would get kind of pissed off at because I completely disagreed with what he said, what he thought. And I did. It was not the way I looked at it, but never really did I feel like he was just an evil person. And what happened to him, he did not deserve, because I saw the video. And that bothered me for a long time after. I thought about it all last night. I wish I would have never seen that. But I think seeing that really kind of it gave me a new perspective on it, because of just, I've never seen that happen to anybody like that in real life. That actually was my first time. I don't really fool with shooting guns and stuff. I just don't care anything about it. And so seeing that really bothered me, and also knowing that, of course, he had a family and he had a wife and 2 kids, that also put it into a new perspective for me, because he's only a year older than I am. He was 31. I'm 30. I'll actually be 31 in a couple of weeks. And I am married. I have 3 stepchildren, and I plan on having one of my own with my current husband. And so being close to his age, even though we fall on different sides of the spectrum politically and, the things we believe in, we still have that in common. We're at the same age. We're both married with, we both have children of our, I don't have them of my own, but I do have stepchildren that I love. And I could not imagine losing my spouse, especially under a circumstance like that, knowing that someone did that to him. I'm careful, y'all, what words I say on here, like words of violence, because I don't want it to get flagged or anything like that, because YouTube will do that very quickly. But I just could not imagine something like that happening to my husband, and how that would completely forever change my life and the damage it would do to his 3 children. That would absolutely be traumatizing. Like, I know for a fact that I would never, ever, ever be the same after that. Especially, I hope to God his wife never, ever has to see that video. Because if that was me and I saw that happen to my spouse, like in their final moments and how they passed, that would haunt my mind until the day I died. Like that, I would never, ever be able to get that out of my head. And I feel so sorry for her. And the same thing with his children. They're very young now, but there will come a day when, they will grow up and they will learn of what happened to their father. And, stuff you put on the internet, it stays out there forever. And there is no doubt in my mind that they will be able somehow to find that video. They may choose to never watch it, but if for some reason they do, I absolutely feel for them, because no one should have to witness someone that happened to someone, especially like a parent, have that happen to their child. And it bothers me that people are actually on the internet celebrating what happened to him. They don't even consider any of his family. They don't even consider his wife, his children. It's just, they're just happy of the fact of what happened to him, and that's it. You know, just because someone, y'all, does not agree with you on topics does not mean they are fucking evil. Like, that is the stupidest nonsense I have ever heard in my life. There are some truly fucking evil people out there. And, you know, from what I have seen, he was not one of those people that was just truly, like, evil. He just, and the same with me. I did not agree with him, but I never for one second thought, you know, oh, he deserved what happened to him. Or, you know, oh, he was just an evil, horrible person. Hitler was an evil, horrible person. You know, not Charlie Kirk. And, you know, it's very upsetting to me to know that we as a society have come to, you know, we're in just such a very just negative headspace and just not sympathetic with other people at all. It's just it's like we're very cold. We're very just, it's like our feelings are just completely like turned off. And, you know, especially in the gay community, you know, a lot of the gay community, there are some conservative gays, and I personally do know some, that we don't agree on things at all, but there's a lot of liberal gays out there. And a lot of them, their comments on it, yes, there are some that had the same viewpoint as me, that they don't think he deserved it and that it's wrong for people to think that he did, but it's just like there are so many of us that are out there acting like that's a good thing. And, you know, to me, that is an absolute embarrassment, because me being a gay man, I absolutely do not feel that way. And having these other men out there who are gay out here, you know, publicly putting on the internet, on social media, that they are happy about this is such a disgrace and such a terrible representation of the gay community, because all that does, it makes us look terrible. It makes us look like horrible, cold, disgusting people, and that just further makes people not want to accept us, you know, because they're looking at us now like we're even more crazy. We're heartless and just, you know, we don't have any morals, and, you know, that is not true of all of us. So, you know, the fact that people out there feel that it is just perfectly okay for them to publicly shout that and to celebrate that and to be happy, you know, that is absolutely the sickest thing I have ever seen in a long time. And, y'all, I come from a very, very conservative area. I still live in a very conservative area. I grew up with a very conservative family, a family that is still very conservative. You know, I moved away for a while, and I completely changed my views, and, you know, I went the opposite direction. My parents, my family, they know what I believe. I know what they believe. You know, we just agree to disagree, and we can talk about our viewpoints, but never, ever have I thought I hated anyone in my family because of political differences like that. Never. I love my family to death. And I was sitting there thinking about, you know, Charlie Kirk has a lot of viewpoints that were very, very similar to, you know, the people that I love the most, which is my family. And also my in-laws are, you know, some of them are the same way, and I love them dearly. You know, that really put that into a new perspective for me, because, you know, I sat and thought, what if that happened to my dad or my mom just because of the way and the things they believed? Because I know them personally. They're not evil people at all. You know, they've done, you know, they've made their mistakes. We all have. You know, they're not perfect people. I'm not a perfect person. But never has, you know, never have I sat and thought to myself that my family, my parents, my siblings deserved anything like that because of what they believed politically and, you know, about other social issues. Never, ever in a million years would I ever wish that on them. Never would I ever wish that on anyone else, because that, to me, is a complete disgrace, and that shows you just how cold and nasty people can be. So, you know, and I know this video is going, those that are happy about this, you know, I know God only knows what fucking comments I'm going to get about this. You know, they're probably going to go crazy, probably going to attack the hell out of me, you know, unsubscribe, unfollow, whatever. And if so, that is absolutely fine, because I just want to say that not all of us gay people out there, even the ones that are liberal, we are not celebrating this at all. You know, like I hope he, you know, I pray that he rests in peace. I pray for his family. You know, I wish them the absolute best, and I'm completely sorry for their loss. And, you know, for Charlie, I mean, you know, rest in peace and fly high. So thank you guys for watching this video. You know, I really appreciate everything that y'all have done for my channel. It has grown so much. And, you know, it was hard for me to kind of post such a video like this. It was such a downer. But it felt good to get that out. So, you know, I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. And, you know, I hope we as a society can get to a more loving, better place. Thank you guys so much. And I will see y'all about the next week or so. Bye.